Hello friends, welcome to jwreasoning.com. I'm recording this video for Sunday, September 29th, 2024. And I'm not going to do a review of the Watchtower because, first of all, I didn't have time to do it. And really, they love to talk about pornography because this seems to be an ongoing thing in the organization. And really, the article is about not giving into temptation, which overall, I think it's good to talk about not giving into temptation. So I'm not going to look and criticize the article this week, look at it with a critical eye. I did go through it, but I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about something that I get a lot of emails about and a lot of questions about. And I want to apologize for the rain noise. We're dealing with the remnants of that hurricane that passed through the south, and we're not really affected by it here other than just rain. And right now it's raining pretty steady and pretty hard. But I wanted to talk about this for a moment. A lot of people ask me, do I disassociate or do I wait for them to disfellowship me? Well, I can't answer that question because every person's life is different and every situation is different. I could tell you about my situation, but that's not your situation. I personally decided to just bide my time and just allow them to come to me. In other words, I didn't disassociate right away. It took time for me to do that. And the reason why is once you do that, you close that door to be able to witness to others, and they won't listen to you. And there were people that I loved that were in my congregation. There were family members that I wanted to be able to talk with until I had such a time to be able to witness to them and tell them why I left. Here's the reasons why. These are the things that are bothering me. And also, if you're going to talk about those things, be subtle, be easy, be gentle. Sometimes somebody might come to you and they want a sip of water and you open up the fire hydrant. Or you come to the water fountain and you just want it just to come on very gently, and when you hit it, could you imagine just a gush from a fire hydrant right in your face? Well, unfortunately, when we come out of the organization, we do that sometimes. We just open up the fire hose on them, and they're not ready for that. And we did the same thing, a lot of us, when we became witnesses. We did that same thing. So you understand what that looks like. That might be a clumsy illustration, but it works for me. They want a sip, and you open up the hose on them. So really, be slow, be methodical. Witnessing to them probably works better as questions rather than statements. Ask questions, get them to thinking. Ask them, have you really taken a look at this particular verse? Have you looked at it? Have you read the surrounding verses? Read it and give me your thoughts. And then if they come to you with what the Watchtower says, say, well, let's look at the verses together. And then just read them and just say, what are your thoughts? I mean, when you read this, if you hadn't read the Watchtower article that told you what to believe, would you believe what this says, or would you believe what it says? There's nothing wrong with doing that. It might raise a red flag, but it's not, hopefully I should say, it won't open up the door to where they go back to the elders and tell them, oh, you're a full-blown apostate. I did have someone do that to me. I will share that at another time. But I survived that, but I'll share that with you at another time. And the timing's just not good for that right now at this point in my walk. But I wanted to talk about this because people ask me all the time, should I disassociate or disfellowship? You have to decide. Secondly, try not to be pushy in talking to others. When you're talking to other people, take your time, be gentle, little by little, and that's my advice. I can't tell people, or I would never suggest to them, well, you need to write a letter of disassociation, or you need to let them disfellowship you, or I can't do that. But I know I've talked about these things before. I just wanted to take a few minutes and touch on these things because these folks we know they're locked in, they're misled, they are following men and they don't even realize it. And so just think about this. If you believe in the Bible, which I do, and I still have a walk with the Father and His Son, and I try to read my Bible on a daily basis. And the fruitage of the Spirit is somewhere that I need to work on that on a daily basis. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, meekness, self-control. I think it says it a little different in the New World Translation. But that last one, self-control, consider that topic of self-control for when you're witnessing to your family and friends or a spouse, and you're trying to help them to realize that the organization is leading them down the road to following men. And stay away from certain words. There are certain trigger words that you can use that are not good words to use when you're witnessing to a witness, no matter what you think their organization might be. Stay away from those trigger words that throw the wall up. And this is particularly hard when you know something is true and they don't see it. So my suggestion to you is take your time, bide your time, make it a matter of prayer. Try to be patient, try to have that self-control, and really try to be long-suffering with the folks that are coming out. Because remember, depending on how long it's been for you, try to remember how you felt. You would have reacted, I would have reacted the same way that they react when you say something negative or against the organization. Try to keep that in mind. I hope to get back to the Watchtower summary again. I really appreciate all the responses from last week's lesson. I hope that was help to you. I know that was a long video, but I felt it was necessary. And friends, I just hope that you will keep in mind that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. It isn't through an organization. It isn't through a group of men. It isn't through a YouTube channel like this or any pastor or minister or rabbi, whoever it is you might be listening to or following. It's through Jesus Christ. There is no other name under heaven given among men by which we must be saved. And that's the name, Jesus. So please, friends, as you witness to your witness family and friends, try to keep in mind the things that I mentioned. I know it's hard. I've experienced it, and it may be harder for some than others. I tend to think it's harder for me than anybody. And really, I want to say this too before I sign off here. I isolated my wife by coming on too strong, and it didn't damage our relationship personally, but it closed the door for me to be able to witness to her as far as from the Bible. Once in a while, if she brings it up, then I can talk about it. But if she doesn't bring it up, I don't talk about it. This is good advice for spouses, one of you that's awake and one of you may not be. Allow them to bring it up. And if they don't, it might be good just to ask a question once in a while. Maybe not even once a week or once a month. Sometimes it may be months before anything comes up in a spiritual sense. So friends, I hope you'll take these things to heart. I hope they help you in some way. And it may not be good for everyone, but this is what I have found that works well for me and for some others that have contacted me. So please keep studying your Bible. Remember, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And my prayer for you is that you will keep studying and that Jehovah will continue to bless you until we meet again.